everything is by divine appointment. These are the synchronicities of life that go before us and prepare the way when we are attuned. Our theme for the month is Miracles in May. This morning's topic is Miracles are natural. And the actual quote is, miracles are natural expressions of love. Nothing real can be threatened. Nothing unreal exists. Herein lies the peace of God. Whatever you conceive your God to be, whatever name you put on your higher power, it matters not, but to acknowledge that which is within me, that energy that is within me, is greater than that which resides in the world. Because remember, the relative world, when someone says, well, in the real world, that is not the real world. That's the relative world of conditions, appearances, and effects where things can crumble in a moment, recreate in a moment. The real world is within us. I go within to the secret place of the Most High. I pray to my Father, Mother, God in secret, and I am acknowledged openly by the outward demonstrations of my life. We are the prayer that's praying itself. Every thought that we put out into the universe, every thought that we think, that becomes the prayer that's praying itself. We are that. So this morning when we look at miracles are natural. They are natural expressions of love. That we woke up this morning, we took our first conscious breath. I call that a miracle. We made a decision to be here together in community. And it's very powerful to be in community. There is a group dynamic in community where the whole becomes greater than the sum of its parts. And the synergistic mind of God arises through this energy field. And we are whole, perfect, and complete in this energy field. We can let go of everything else, all that no longer serves us, because we know that miracles are natural expressions of love. There is a very famous news anchor and a foreign correspondent, and he said, you know, I thought I was a pretty big deal. I was with the power brokers, I was all over the world, I was doing what I love, loving what I do, and getting paid very well for it. And then discovered one day that, you know, I wasn't swallowing too well. And so I went to the doctor, and they referred me on to another doctor who referred me on to an oncologist. And it seems that I had a tumor in my throat. Now, I am a newscaster. I am a foreign correspondent. I need my voice. And of course, remember now, the throat, it's the throat chakra. A chakra in the ancient Sanskrit means a wheel of spinning energy in a clockwise fashion. We have 7 major chakras in this body temple. So the throat chakra is the power center. That which you utter becomes the outer. Jesus, who became the Christ, said, decree a thing and it is established unto thee. So this was very important for Jonathan Grosvenor. And it seems that he had a golf, you know, it's like the size of a golf ball, tumor in his throat, and he would discover if it was malignant or not. And so they did the surgery where they had to cut, you know, down the back of the neck and go in and take it out and biopsy it, and it was malignant. And he said, I was devastated. You know, I thought I was just so powerful, and I was everywhere and doing what I loved, and people admired me. I was admired. I had a certain amount of fame. And suddenly, I saw it all ending. I saw my demise. I was so depressed. And you know, he said at the breakfast table, he shared with his wife and daughter that he may be dying. I mean, this is a diagnosis. And that his daughter got up from the table and said, I don't care if you live or die. And she left the room. He said, I was devastated. And then as I went within and thought, when was the last time I told her I loved her? When was the last time I said, I'm so proud of you, cheering her on? He said, I couldn't even remember when. I didn't have a relationship. She didn't care if I lived or died. It was devastating. It kind of woke me up. And on my first day of chemo, I just kind of walked. He was stationed in Sydney, Australia, and he said he walked around in the city. and just kind of looking around. He saw a homeless gentleman with a little dog, and he kind of went by him and went to chemo and was, you know, going for these treatments. And every day that he went to chemo, he saw the homeless person with his little dog. And finally, one day, the dog ran up in front of him and sat up. And he said, wow, and he petted the dog, and he said, what's his name? And the homeless gentleman said, he is a she, and her name is Molly. And she doesn't usually stop people unless they need something. What is it that you need? And he said he was a little embarrassed, and he just said, well, I guess I needed to pet a dog today, and went on his way. Because he said, I have the same view of homeless people that most of the mass consciousness has of homeless people. And when I originally saw him, he had a big cardboard sign that said, help. There was some, you know, writing below, but I just thought, help. You need help, get up and get a job. I'm the one that got cancer. I've been getting chemotherapy with children that have amazing needs. And he said, I just kind of brushed him off. But the next day, I walked by him again, and I saw the help sign, and I petted Molly, and we kind of were in a discussion about life and energy. And the gentleman reached in his pocket to get out some pills. And he said that his hands were shaking, so he offered to get the pill out for him. And he noticed on the prescription that his name was Douglas, and that the pills were for a schizophrenic condition. He said, immediately my mind went to serial killer and, you know, all of this, but then I got hold of myself, got the pill out, gave it to him, and I said to him, is this why you beg? And the homeless gentleman, Douglas, said, I don't beg. I ask for help. He said, you ask for help? He said, yes, I'm raising money for the needy. He said, oh, all right. And he said he looked further after the help on the cardboard sign, and it was for all of the organizations that this homeless gentleman was raising money for. And he said, at that moment, I realized I was the disabled one, not Douglas, the homeless. He's raising money for a higher purpose. I'm feeling sorry for myself. I've had this amazing life. I had this preconceived ideas, this disposition of the homeless, you know, and at one point I had gotten him some food. And I thought, I'm not going to give him money because we all know the homeless, you know, they'll spend it on drugs and alcohol. This was my predisposition of the homeless. And when I took him the food, he said, well, I'm not going to eat it unless you join me. And he immediately thought of the Spanish poet. And the Spanish poet that said that we leave our suffering behind when we break bread together. So they had a moment of breaking bread together. You give a man bread, what? You feed him for a day, you teach him how to plant, you feed him for a lifetime. They had a moment. This man was evolved. Regardless of what the appearance it was, of what he was suffering, there was a moment of clarity, and in that moment of clarity, he got it. That he said, he sat down with him, and when they looked up, people just passed them. He said, I was looking up from Douglas's viewpoint and saw how people just passed by and could hardly, you know, someone around because it's so uncomfortable. And he said, I really understood in that moment that I have learned such a lesson. And he said he went back the next day and they parted, and he said, I'll see you later. I didn't want to say goodbye. I'll see you later. And Douglas and Molly weren't there. And they weren't there the following day or the next day. And he asked at certain agencies, and they couldn't share where he had gone, if they even knew, because of privacy laws. And he said, I was sitting and waiting for my chemotherapy, missing Doug and Molly, and wondering about Molly, and what had happened with Doug, and hoping he was all right. And I suddenly just sat there and I wept. And a little girl who had a scarf on her head, who has obviously lost all her hair, put her hand on my cheek and said, it's going to be all right. It's going to be all right. And he said he went in for his chemo, and about a week passed, and he asked about the little girl, and the nurse said she passed away yesterday. And he said, I thought about all the things I feared. I feared the homeless. I feared those with infirmities. It would bring something up in me. I would feel absolutely speechless. But suddenly, there was a shared humanity. And when I feel these moments of shared humanity about the miracles that show up in our life, these angels that show up in our life, that they materialize for what it is that we need at that moment. And to move beyond our bigotries, our prejudice, our judgments, and looking outside of ourselves, our doubts, our fears, the lack, limitation, and scarcity that shows up in our consciousness that moves into a wave, a sympathetic vibration of what's going on the planet. And so Jonathan got up, and he wrote a book called The Other Side of Ego, From Cancer to Consciousness. He did an amazing TED Talk, saying that I always wanted to feel powerful and important. When I was asked to do this TED Talk, I didn't even share it with anybody. I was so humbled. He said, cancer changed me, and it was due to these angels, the miracle of these angels that put a little hand on my cheek and said, it's going to be all right. It's going to be all right. And then disappeared and moved into the etheric realm of the all that is. My angel Douglas, who was there with Molly, who stopped me and sat up, she sensed my need, not just to pet a dog, but to commune, to exchange energy, because sometimes in the silence, the most is said. It is in the silence as the exchange of energy. And so much is transmitted through that energy field. So when we look at nothing real can be threatened, and nothing unreal exists, herein lies the peace of God. That's on the first page of the Course in Miracles, which I facilitated for 25 years in my San Diego ministry. And love waits unwelcome, not on time. Time is of the ego. We never have enough of it. We're like the little rabbit in Alice in Wonderland. I'm late for a very important day. No time to sit and talk. I'm late. Never enough. But once we stop chasing the elusive butterfly, and the more we run after it, the more it eludes us. The moment we stop chasing and we sit down quietly, it alights on our shoulder. It alights on our shoulder. We're not blocking it through our frenzied grasping of wanting more and trying to fill the hole in the soul with the outer world. So the lion shall lie down with the lamb, and a little child shall say, it's going to be all right. It's going to be all right. And a homeless man will say, I don't eat alone. I will only partake if you join me. For didn't the Spanish poet say, we release all our suffering when we break bread together. We commune in the miraculous moment of the unseen, in this moment. So today, as we acknowledge there's a power and presence in the universe greater than we are, we have many miraculous moments. And when I was in the mineral hot springs yesterday, a very chubby, sweet man started talking about an awakening. He just started talking to me. I'm like doing my little thing, in the minerals and doing my exercise. And he said, I had an awakening. Now he's got my attention. He's not just someone that needs somebody to yak at. And I have to say, I'm here to meditate. I had an awakening. I said, really? He said, I realized one day that we are all one. I said, yes, we are, beyond color, race, creed, sexual orientation, and political affiliation. We are all one. And he shared his whole unfoldment with me, and how he was part of a fundamentalist religion. And he said, I realized that all of that, I could let all that go. I was awakened. We are all one. one. Of course, everybody in the pool kind of got out. We're doing, this very esoteric thing, right? I mean, So we talked for 1 hour, and it was amazing. And I just thought, because I'm very attuned. I could have gone into the archives and gotten out this talk done last year's. I don't do that, because I am always challenging myself to learn, to grow, and to expand in my own personal ministry. You're all ministers. Our daily life is our temple and our religion. So, we can fall back on our laurels and this was a hit, but I will not allow myself to do that, because I feel that I need to stretch and grow, and then I do this, and and think about it. Everything we do is for ourselves and the glory of God. And when others are attracted to that energy field, we all grow together. But if, we feel like, oh, I'm just doing so much for them. We go into victimhood, and I'm the martyr, and look at all I've done, and this is the things I get. No, we do it for ourselves. And if you get something out of it, isn't that wonderful? Because I am not in this world to live up to your expectations, and you are not in this world to live up to my expectations. I am I, and you are you, and if by chance we find each other, it is beautiful. And that's why I love our way of life. We find each other. We're the largest group of non-joiners on the planet, because we do not know that others feel as we do. And then metaphysicians find themselves. Just as Bill Wilson in his moment of clarity at 3 a.m. and said that, he had tried, he'd even gone to Carl Jung, who was a famous Austrian psychiatrist. How can I let go of this addiction of alcohol? And believe me, I come from a long line of alcoholics. I know all about it. And my sister actually took her own life. So when I read the story about Bill Wilson in his room, and that Carl Jung saying, there's nothing I can do for you. You need a spiritual experience. And at 3 in the morning, a white light came into his room. He got up from that bed, and when Jesus said, pick up your bed and walk, he said, I picked up my bed and I walked, and I was never ever the same again. I was willing to share this energy, this way of life of Alcoholics Anonymous with everyone I met who had an addiction. So when we look at addiction, we all have, some sort of addictions. That when we find the peace of God, nothing real can be threatened, nothing unreal exists. Herein lies the peace of God. So the miracle is our willingness to surrender and saying, hey, even the Austrian psychiatrist couldn't help me. He said, I need a spiritual experience. And he had to surrender and let go and let God do what God does best by means of him. And then founded this amazing movement where people could suddenly be conscious and not feel addicted, and that energetically they could help each other and support each other and serve one another. And out of that came all the 12-step programs. And I sponsored John Bradshaw at my San Diego ministry, who wrote the book Healing the Shame That Binds You. And once we heal the shame that binds us, that was my even deeper awakening, that as an adult child of alcoholics, I had all of these syndromes that were so typical of a child raised in alcoholism. And one was like completely overachieving just to feel accepted. And when I could finally release all of that, it was just such an amazing awakening for me. So this morning, we acknowledge that miracles are natural. That one is not larger or smaller than another, that all expressions of love are maximal. And that does make all the difference, because we're on the path and we're all going somewhere. Do you know where that is? Higher yet. Where is it? Higher yet. Where is it? Higher yet. Because we are in a high place and we will not come down. None of these outer things move us. We are in a high place and we will not come down. I say to you, Namaste, the God in me salutes the God in you, and the God in you salutes the God in me. I say Shalom, the peace that passes all understanding in this beautiful chapel. And God bless us, every one. And so it is.